Hey friends, happy Monday. As of the release, this is Monday, March 30th. You may be listening to this on some other day. That's totally fine. That's when this episode's being released. On March 30th, Venus is heading into Taurus. And then on April 1st, we have a full moon in Libra. So we're going to talk about those energies. We're going to talk about what they mean not only for our week, but for the coming weeks. We've had a lot of kind of really intense energy, and the energy of this week is a little softer. So we've had a lot of things happening in fire signs. We've had a lot of kind of like the eclipse is crazy energy. There's just been a lot going on that's really extreme energy. This week is a little bit more gentle. That's not to say that everything around us will be gentle, but the overall energy that we're working with is a little more on the gentle side. So Venus is our planet of beauty, of pleasure, of love, of sex, of the feminine. It is a very wonderful planet. It is going into Taurus at 9 a.m. Pacific time on March 30th. So Taurus, it is so at home in Taurus. Taurus is one of Venus's two at home signs. When we think about a planet being at home, think about when you are at home, you are comfortable there. You know where things are. You operate well, or you can operate well at home. You're not, you know where your things are. If you want to go start a project, you know what you've got. If you want to relax, you don't feel weird about it because when you're in somebody else's home, it's a different story. You don't know where things are. You might sit down to relax, but feel kind of awkward. There's just a lot of different energy when we are in someone else's home. So when a planet is in its home sign, it can do what it really wants to do. And in this case, Venus wants to bring pleasure. It wants to bring beauty. It wants to bring the femininity to life. Let it do that over the coming weeks while it is in Taurus. That is just kind of an overarching one of the energies. There's all kinds of energies around us right now, but that's one of them that I think is good for us. And we can all really, find some things to enjoy over the coming week. On April 1st, we have a full moon in Libra. So sun will be in Aries, moon will be in Libra. It will be a full moon. Full moons are the point in the cycle where we are harvesting, we're celebrating. It's a culmination point in the cycle. The new moon is when we plant seeds, when we set our intentions. The full moon is when we celebrate what we've already done. We continue working toward those intentions. When we have a full moon in a sign, it's usually you've got two different energies that are going to be at play because you've got the sun in one energy and the moon in another energy. And in this case, Aries is it's an initiator energy. It's the start, the fire, right? The spark that gets a fire started. I think my brain is working faster than my mouth right now. It's the spark that gets a fire started. It is the initiator. It's a leader. It's just, I know what I want. I'm going to go with it. Quick decision making. Libra is an integrated, a balanced, a harmonious energy. It cares very, very deeply about what others think, about making other people happy. It's the sign of justice. That's the symbol of Libra. So these can be kind of dueling energies, but there's also with Libra, the thing I love is that it brings things together. Oftentimes, Libra at its best can bring two things that are seemingly at odds and bring them together in harmony or in integration. And that is the theme that I really want us to focus on this week is how can we integrate? We are going through, there's a lot of extreme energies that have been at play and are going to continue to be at play. We see just culturally, things going on around us right now are very extreme. It is very challenging. The context that we are in, I don't think there's anything easy about it. We have that energy going on. And many of us are enjoying success. We're enjoying peace. We're enjoying certain things in our lives that seem to be at odds with the chaos and the extremeness of the other energies around us. So with Libra, what I want us to be thinking of is how do we integrate those things? I think that our culture wants us to go, no, it's very binary. You can either be upset or scared or, whatever extreme negative emotion, energy that you lean into, or you are completely disconnected. If you're not 100% feeling those things, there's something wrong with you. I saw a post the other day that really made me think of just how binary we think as a culture and as a society. It essentially said, if you are not completely dysfunctional because of your recognition of how terrible things are right now, there's something wrong with you. And this is where the Libra in me goes, no. One, there's always got to be a balance to things. There's always got to be an integration. Are things hard? Yes. Are things scary? For a lot of us, they are. It's not to say that they're not hard, that they're not scary, that there's not really crappy things happening around us. It is to say we can have that reality and we can still be growing. We can still be successful. We can still be finding ways to enjoy our lives, that we can do both. And this idea that you have to be completely disempowered to live your life because shitty things are happening, I'm not here for. I am not here for. That is a very out of balance way of looking at things. And that is an out of balance way of living. I think that, yes, we have to recognize things are crazy right now. Yes, we want things to change. Yes, we can work toward that change. We can do what is ours to do toward that change. And we can still enjoy our family. We can still enjoy our friends. We can still find those places where life doesn't suck. That's Libra energy bringing those two things together. That's Libra energy going, you can hold two things that seem to be at odds in the same space, and it can create harmony in your life. This full moon, that is the energy I want us leaning into. If you need to be taking time to recognize your fear, recognize frustration, recognize anger, recognize feeling disempowered by whatever's going on, do that. That's okay to do. Grief is normal. What you are feeling when you look at the world around us right now, I want you to give yourself space for that. And I want you to give yourself time to enjoy. You've got to have both. I want you to go, yeah, right now things are hard. And I am going to, like next week, I'm taking the week off. So actually, the next Monday from now, we won't have an episode. I'm taking the week off from work, from Most True You, from all the things to just spend with my kids. I'm going to enjoy it. We're going to bake cookies. And if there's sun, we're going to go sit outside in the sun. We're going to do things that are really and truly enjoyable. And I'm not going to let whatever chaos is happening override the joy of that. Can I still recognize that things are crazy? Yes. And I can still enjoy the stuff with my kids, and I can still enjoy work, and I can still be growing and pursuing my own goals and my own dreams. That's what I mean by this, is that this idea that you have to do one thing and one thing only, or feel one thing and one thing only, is bananas. We're not here for it. I want to normalize both the challenging things, and even in the midst of challenge, you can still have good happening. That's what I want to normalize, especially with this Libra new moon or full moon. So here's some really practical things for you this week. I want you to make space for the challenging and the stuff you want to celebrate. That's very full moon energy, right? The full moon is shining light on specific areas of your life. So you can look at your birth chart and you can say, okay, Libra is in whatever house of my birth chart. For me, it happens to be my first house. I can look at that and say, okay, first house is personality. First house is how I show up as myself. Where do I feel challenging energy or emotions? And spend time with that. Get real, get honest with that. And where do I feel good energy and emotion? Right? Whatever area of your life that is in, that's a really good area to sit back and go, okay, if it's fifth house, creativity, children, joy, fun, those are all things that we associate playfulness with fifth house energy. Think about that. Think about in the realm of creativity, in the realm of children, in the realm of procreation, in the realm of learning to have fun and enjoy life. What feels particularly challenging right now? Let yourself feel whatever you need to with that. And what feels good right now? And name those good feelings. Give yourself time to feel those good feelings. Just making space. That's all this is. Making space for the emotion, making space for both so that we don't live out of balance. We have to be able to name both of those. Other questions I like to ask when I think about Libra energy are questions around people pleasing. That's like kind of a shadowy side of Libra energy, is we tend to get out of balance by trying to please others. I see myself do this at home. It's where I see it the most, where I want to do what my kids want. I want to do what my partner wants. I want to make everybody else happy. And there will be times where I notice I'm like doing this, doing that, doing things that I know make everybody happy. And then I start to get tired. I start to get cranky. I start to get overstimulated. And typically what's happening in that moment is I'm not balancing my family's needs or wants with my own. It's out of balance. It's their needs and wants are being given more validity and value than my own are. And that creates an imbalance. That can happen at work too. It can happen anywhere where we put other people first to our own detriment. And when it's to our detriment, that's when we're out of balance. Thinking about this, and other forms of Libra energy are, like I said, the kind of bringing harmony out of chaos, or bringing two things that are seemingly at odds together in a way where we meet both needs, right? If we're talking about people, to people who might be at odds with each other, trying to understand person one, what are their needs? Person two, what are their needs? Okay, how can we work toward getting both of their needs met? That is very Libra energy. So this week, the two things I want you to be thinking about are, one, pleasure. Where can you bring more pleasure into your life in whatever form that takes? Beauty, love, feminine, things that are associated with the feminine, sex, money, whatever. Where can you bring more pleasure into your life? That is a question that I want you to ask this week. And I want you to look at where Libra is in your chart, and I want you to think about what is challenging and what feels good, and give yourself time to process both. And then if you're also thinking about like any intentions that you set at the new moon a couple weeks ago, this is a good time to kind of, again, let that light shine on them and go, how far have I come toward that? This is a good time to review your goals and intentions. Celebrate how far you've come. Do not skip over that. Celebrate how far you've come. And then go, okay, I've got 2 more weeks essentially in this moon cycle. What else do I need to do to continue working towards my goals? And set yourself up for success with that. That's how, just a really basic of how we work with the moon cycles. And actually, if you're local, we are going to be doing, as part of the Becoming Year that we're doing each month at Rock Mama, we are going to be talking about lunar living. We're going to be talking really in depth about the moon cycles, which I always get excited about, on April 20th. So if that's something that you're interested in, I will put a link in the show notes where you can register for that if you're local to the, kind of larger Sacramento, California area. That will be April 20th at 6 p.m. at Rock Mama. Yeah, no podcast next Monday. We'll be back at it after that. And I really hope that this is a time where you can take a breather from the extreme energies that we've been surrounded by, that we will continue to be surrounded by, quite honestly, and allow room and space for joy and pleasure this week. Sending you so much love, my friends. Happy Monday, and lots of love for the week ahead.